Greetings, my dudes. It is me. I'm here, present at this time. Nothing fell out of the jar. That is a first, I think. That might actually be a first. But yeah, welcome in, my dudes. We were doing this yesterday, so hink honk indeed. But oh, I haven't actually posted anywhere that I'm streaming outside of on Twitter, so I should probably do that. Give me just a second. Okay. So the yesterday, I continued on with my work revamping the Archive of Esoteric Secrets, which is my first sort of full-length guild project, and my most successful product by some considerable margin. The Archive has been Electrum for quite some time, actually, and it is there's a lot of cool stuff in there, but there's also a lot of weird jank in there as well. And I've basically been going through and fiddling with things, changing things, and over the course of this month, it is my hope to finalize and release a completely revamped version with a bunch of changes. And a lot of that I'll be doing on stream. Some of the more noodly stuff I'll be doing in my own time, but yeah, the more kind of revamped stuff, that's probably most of it is going to be done on stream. I'm not sure how much of it specifically, but a good amount of it. But yeah, I am going to take a look at where we got up to, which was F. I'm hoping to do F, G, and H today, but that does cover like a lot of spells. There's a good chance we won't fully finish all of that. I'm going to try to, though. So I'm going to stop just talking and I'll start working. I mean, I'm not going to stop talking entirely, because I don't do that ever. I'm always talking all the time. But I'm going to talk slightly less than I was previously. I'll tell you what I haven't opened. I just need to open where the actual details of the spells are, because I haven't opened those yet. So the first spell we're looking at is called Facade, and I remember this spell very well because I actually looked at it quite recently, because a player in one of my games got it for free from a class feature. They got the spell and they can cast it once per day. And I'm just scrolling down and looking for it. Oh, I just went past it. There it is, yeah. So, Facade is a 3rd level illusion. Casting time 1 action, range of self. Verbal somatic material, a vial of perfume mixed with foxblood. Concentration up to 10 minutes for artificers, bards, warlocks, and wizards. You conjure magical glamours around yourself that trick your foes into misjudging your allegiances. For the duration, whenever a creature that would normally become hostile toward you sees you, it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw. On a failure, the creature treats you in one of the following ways. Okay. And each of the different ways, so they can either be physically they could be attracted to you, they can ignore you, they can misinterpret your your allegiances, and they can be terrified of you. That is what that is basically the effect of the spell. So I like what I've got here. I think it's cool, but I think some work needs to go into the way that it's worded, because I don't. It works in the way that it's worded at the moment, but it is still pretty jank. So let me just grab it. just nabbing it real quick so I can put it in the dock so everyone can see it. Should probably do that first, you know. That would make a fair amount of sense. But that would also require me to use brain cells I don't think I know how to operate, you know. So yeah, here's the spell. Whenever a creature sees you for the first time, during the spell's duration, that creature must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or fall victim to your glamour for the duration. So when you cast the spell, you designate one of the following glamours you wish to exude for the duration. This can probably be up to an hour, realistically. Also, if I remember correctly, there is a weird... Let me just check something real quick. Yeah, here it is. Up to an hour. Not 1 hour, an hour. Oh, I should say... no, not follows. Following glamours. There we go. Those are the human words I'm looking for. Okay. Don't mind me, just fiddling around with bits and pieces. You wish to exude... you designate one of the following glamours you wish to exude for the duration. Each of which affecting a creature that failed its saving throw differently. There we go. The creature... This is a bit weird. I don't like this. The creature becomes physically or... the creature becomes attracted to you. Either physically or... persuasion checks made against them. The creature becomes attracted to you either physically or platonically, depending on its preferences, granting them advantage on charisma deception and charisma persuasion checks made against them. Ignore. The creature ignores your presence and immediately forgets it saw you as soon as you leave its line of sight. Misinterpret. The creature believes you to be an ally of it, treating you as such for the duration of the spell or until you take hostile action against it. The creature becomes frightened of you. When you cast this spell, any creatures that see you cast the spell, as well as any number of creatures you choose that when you cast the spell, any creatures that see you cast the spell, as well as any number of creatures you choose, are immune to the spell's effects for the duration. Okay, I think that works. So the idea here is this is an all-purpose charming tool, right? You can use this for all sorts of different things, and they're all reasonably quite useful. Ugh. Oh, yeah. Right, the next spell is called Fibrillations, which I believe is also a 3rd level spell. It is. So this is a Cleric and Warlock spell. So I'll be able to probably put this in this time. So, 3rd level Necromancy, casting time 1 action, range, touch. Somatic material, the heart of a humanoid. Duration instantaneous for Clerics and Warlocks. You touch a creature, sending their heart into a flurry, stopping and starting at random intervals. Make a melee spell attack against a creature. Within range. On a hit, the target's heart begins to violently fibrillate. At the start of each of the creature's turns, it must succeed on a Constitution saving throw, have its speed reduced by half at the start of its next turn, and suffer until the start of its next turn, and suffer 1 point of exhaustion. Let's probably say up to a maximum of 3 points. The spell ends when the creature succeeds has succeeded on three saving throws against the spell. Once the creature has succeeded on 3 saving throws against the spell, or if the creature takes lightning damage, which because you defibrillate them is the meme. I don't know. This spell is debilitating on players. Speaking from experience, I really shut down a fighter with this spell. I really shut down a fighter with this spell because he was just rolling like shit. Press F for Ethan at the time. He did not have a fun fight because the spell just completely debilitated him. This is quite powerful. It's just the problem is it's a Constitution saving throw, which means in the hands of the players it's not very strong. But I think in the hands of the enemy, it's a really interesting spell and is actually kind of scary. Because unlike... this is sort of like single target Sickening Radiance, except it doesn't do damage. And the spell continues, the exhaustion lasts, but it also can't kill you like Sickening Radiance can. Sickening Radiance does a fair amount of damage and also gives you exhaustion, which up to any value. So if you get locked in a box, if you're grappled inside Sickening Radiance with a barbarian with +10 to Constitution or whatever, then you're probably gonna die. Greetings. I think I will mark this spell in red to maybe come back to it, because I think this thing here makes this spell useful. I think there might be, so I might do this and this. But I think the place that the spell is in at the moment is it's incredibly powerful when utilized against players, but is otherwise otherwise a fairly, like, tame spell in the hands of the players. It's not necessarily very good, but it's also not completely useless either. It's one of those spells where it's like, if you're like a super min-maxer, you wouldn't take this spell. But if you're you know, just sort of your average player, you're not disadvantaging your character by picking it either. Those are like the sweet spot spells. Obviously, spells being super good is cool, and that's fun. But for me, if a spell is good enough to use, but not good enough to abuse, that's kind of the prime spot. And then there's spells like Healing Word and Misty Step, where they're just like the best spells in the whole fucking game. And like, what's even the point, right? But they're those spells are those two spells are pretty ridiculous. The next spell is largely a meme, but is also terrifying. So it's definitely not going to get changed all that much, but it is horrible. So this is so you've heard of Flesh to Stone. Now get ready for Flesh to Flesh. Oh piss! It's dying. Oh, it's red. There we go. Oh, got to remove this bit. So 6th level transmutation, casting time 1, action, range 60 feet. Verbal somatic material, a scrap of dried flesh, concentration up to a minute for warlocks and wizards. You transmute the target's creatures. You transmute. Oh, that's a weird wording there. Causing it to rapidly grow around and over itself into terribly bloated, cancerous growths. If the target's body is made of flesh, the creature must make a Constitution saving throw. On a success, the target creature is unaffected by the spell. On a failed save, the target's flesh begins to rapidly grow in grotesque and horrid ways. At the start of the creature's next turn, its speed is reduced by half. It has disadvantage on attack rolls, as well as dexterity ability checks and dexterity saving throws. If you maintain... yes. Always fun when Twitch chat just decides not to work. At the start of the creature's next turn, if you maintain your concentration on this spell for the entire possible duration, the grotesque growths remain permanent until a remove curse or similar magic is cast on the target. The spell is worded very weirdly, but its effects are actually kind of reasonable. This is kind of Flesh to Stone, realistically. Just not as good, because funnily enough, Flesh to Stone is, it petrifies you permanently, which is way better than just having disadvantage on a bunch of things. Let me read Flesh to Stone. Oh, Flesh to Stone, you make 2 saves against it. So that would be that. Transmutate to transmute the flesh of a creature you can see within range. I'm going to skip out the cancerous reference because, you know, that's not necessarily something people want to read. If the target's body is made of flesh. Honestly, relatable. Aren't we all just meat puppets? We're just brains wearing skeleton armor in a meat mech suit. That's my hot take for the evening. Target, if the target body is made from flesh, it must succeed on a Constitution saving. See, this is where it must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or something bad happens is actually applicable. or have its fat and muscle tissue rapidly expand in horrible, grotesque fashion. Think Akira. This is what this is. A creature who suffers these effects has its speed reduced by half. Falls prone, has its speed reduced by half. I don't know, we'll undo that, that's unnecessary. Falls prone has a speed reduced. Suffers the following effects starting at the beginning of its next turn. Right. It falls prone. Its speed is halved. Oh. It loses any fly speed it had. I'm revamping old spells. I released stuff on the guild, on the DM's guild, and I'm going through a lot of my old spells from my original project, and revamping it all for like an update at the end of this month. There's some jank in here that I'm not happy with, and I'm going back through and changing it all. Yeah. Sure thing, shoot. Ability checks or saving throws. Ah, yes. I'm not sure how you'd represent a lot of that mechanically, but realistically, that's, you know, you can I guess you would grapple them and then hit them with like a flail or something. You could take some like sorcerer levels and garner some, like, a couple of charming spells. Probably be alright. It would only really come online at later levels, but I don't know. It's the best way I can think to represent it mechanically without doing a whole bunch of potentially super broken homebrew. It seems sensible anyway. If remove spell. Remove curse spell. Or greater magic is car. Hang on, I need to like go read. Oh, so yeah, as long as that's the case, realistically, people can do whatever the fuck they want. But flesh to stone. So I have so much homebrew in my home game that if a player asks, "Can I use this homebrew?" it's like, why? I have more than enough already. Just use that instead. But yeah, no, I see the Fuck, I'm trying to find where is spells that are ended by remove curse. Don't actually know. Spells. What do you mean? Like, I'm not catching. I'm not got a visual here. Like, is she like basically just lassoing people with like what is functionally like a spiky collar? Or is she? Or does she herself have the collar and she walks up to people and just kind of pokes people with it? I don't know. I don't know. I'm struggling to find a visual. Oh, contagion. That might actually do the thing I'm looking for. Fuck. No, it doesn't. Is it Darkst? No. I swear there's oh, Feeble Mind. Feeble Mind. That's why it returns to normal. Greater Restoration or Wish spell. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I can see like the I got a visual now. I couldn't visualize it before. If you maintain concentration on the spell for its full duration, the spell's effects become permanent. And any magical do not take effect until 1 minute has passed. Realistically, I think this use of, well, I suppose, yeah, I think the inclusion of wish on a lot of these spells when there is another effect is kind of redundant, because why would I waste, why would I suffer the chance of losing wish forever when, yeah, sure thing, I'll give it a read in a bit. So that's part of the thing I spend a lot of my time on is editing Homebrew. Yeah, because like obviously the way wish works is if you use it to do anything other than duplicate a spell, you have a 33% chance of never being able to cast it again. So why would you do that when you can just use wish to cast Greater Restoration? Because that's how wish works. Yeah, I just saw it. I'll take a look at it in a sec. I'll keep wish there because Feeble Mind does it as well, but it's really kind of dumb. Like just do the thing. Like just if you're like a wizard, for instance, and you have wish, you use wish to cast Greater Restoration. You don't potentially lose wish forever to wish the effects of this spell away. But right, that took a lot longer than expected, but that's okay. We have 2 more not first level spells, F spells. We have Forceful Blast, which is a personal favourite of mine. It's a 5th level spell, and then there is Fury Gale, which is a first level spell. Talk too fast. A bit of a sort of lisped there for a second. I don't have a lisp, but at the same time, you know, you talk too fast, you stumble over your words. I also can we just address the fact that some scientist probably, knowing what a lisp was, named it in such a way so that people with one can't pronounce the word, which is awful, but still kind of funny at the same time. It's a horrible thing to do, but it is about as close to the definition of irony as you can get. Right, I'm just grabbing Forceful Blast. Oh, Paladins get this spell, I didn't know that. Huh. This is new information for me. I made this spell. It makes sense that I get it, but just forgot that they did. Clerics get it too. Clerics, I think it's probably a stretch. I'm probably going to cut it from the cleric list. Or what I might do actually is cross it off like this, so the next time I come through here. So it's a 5th level evocation, 1 action, range, no, it's just self, verbal, somatic, duration, instantaneous. Oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, I say it's almost designed so that like whatever kind of like it's like the word is designed for any person with any form of speech impediment cannot say it, and it's just wow. Someone was really just like someone was really wanting to go to hell that day, you know? Jesus. It's obscene. Right. Right. You send forth a burst of powerful magical energy that slams into all creatures in a 30-foot cone in front of you. Each creature within the area must make a strength saving throw. On a failure, a creature suffers 5d6 force damage and is pushed 50 feet away from you, or half as much damage and distance. I'm not quite trypophobic. I sort of have the reaction to it, but it makes me a little uncomfortable, but doesn't bring me physical pain, you know? I say the only one that gets me is the frog. The trypophobia frog, but the rest of it, it's not that bad. On a success, a creature suffers half damage and is only pushed 25 feet instead of 50. Creatures pushed in this way fall prone and suffer damage as if they had fallen the distance pushed. Right. So yeah, Forceful Blast, the idea is it doesn't do that much damage on its own, but it does push people away, which is useful. And also, it does additional damage to them based on the... So the idea is creatures pushed this way fall prone and suffer damage as if they had fallen the distance pushed. So if you push them 50 feet, they will take an additional 5d6 of bludgeoning damage. Obviously, creatures that are, like, immune to... I suppose falling damage taken in this way. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna finish these two spells. I may have to go for a quick break after I do that, but I'm gonna look at it. Yeah, I say this happens almost every time I stream D&D stuff. Someone usually sends me something to take a look at, but that's fine because it's quite good fun. Falling damage taken this way is considered magical for the purposes of having resistance and immunity. To non-magical damage. It's maybe more words than necessary, but it's like a monk can... I think it would be easier, because like a monk using Slowfall to take no damage from this would not really make any sense. Yeah. Creatures pushed this way suffer an additional 1d6 bludgeoning damage for additional 1d6 bludgeoning damage for every 10 feet pushed. Having lots of 5s is very neat and tidy. That's the idea. They're all the dice. Oh right, no, the channel points. Yeah, that's the logo of my business, I guess. There's hang on, there's it is the idea is that it is a if you turn a... Hang on, I got a d20 kicking around here somewhere. Here we go. So if you sit a d20 on its side, it is these two... Oh, is that going to zoom? Oh, I got my finger over one of them. It is these two faces right here. The 20 and the 14 sat on their side. That is what that is. It was a bastard to make in Illustrator. I'll tell you that much. and all of the sub badges are the dice in that same style. So yeah, the bot was gift subbed a one, so it's got a D4, and obviously I'm, you know, my own. I count as a subscriber to my own Twitch channel, so my sub badges, I have one. Is that? Hang on. That's not taken me up to the 4-month one hasn't kicked in yet. Very strange. I'm gonna have to sort that out later on. That's very odd. Let me just go check and make sure it's set up properly right now. Loyalty badges. That's what they're called. Loyalty badges. Oh, of course. Yeah, there's not. It's base 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 6 month, 9 months, 1 year. Right. I understand now. Right. One last spell to look at in F, and then we can move on to G in a bit. Looking at the time, we're probably only going to be able to finish G today, which kind of blows, but that's fine. I'm also very busy this coming week, so I'm not going to be streaming again on Wednesday. Fury Gale is the last spell in F. It's a first level spell, if I remember correctly. Where is Fury Gale? The D8 is the 3-month. So it's a D4 for a month, a D6 for 2 months, D8 for 3 months, and then it goes up. It actually fit very neatly and tidily. It was great. The base one is a D4. The 2 month is a D6. 3 month is D8. 6 month is a D10. 9 months is a D12, and then a year is the D20. Actually, I had an idea and I looked it up to see if it was going to work, and it did. It actually worked perfectly, and I was very happy. Right, Fury Gale, first level evocation, cast on 1 action range, self, somatic material, a blue scarf. Duration, concentration up to a minute for druids, rangers, sorcerers, and wizards. You unleash a buffeting burst of wind in a 5-foot wide, 30-foot long line. Each creature caught in the area must succeed on a strength saving throw. Must make, I don't like this wording, must make a strength saving throw. Taking 2d6 bludgeoning damage on a failed save, or half as much on a success. The area remains as a wind tunnel. This is not a concentration spell right here. For the duration, the area remains as a wind tunnel. Right, this wording here is weird, but it's meant to be that if creatures move down the wind tunnel, they move faster, and if they try and move into the wind tunnel, they move slower. Creatures in the area moving towards the spell's point of origin treat the area as difficult terrain, whereas creatures in the area moving away from the spell's point of origin expend only 1 foot of movement for every 2 feet they move. So if you move down the line, moving 5 feet moves you 10 feet, whereas moving up the line, moving 10 feet only moves you 5 feet. That is the purpose here. You may dismiss the wind tunnel as a bonus action, ending the spell. Or at any time. No, it should probably be a bonus action. I kind of want this spell to scale, because it does have a really cool effect. Slot level expended above first. Additionally, and the area's length. Spell's damage increases by 10 feet. Additionally, the width Let me look at spiritual weapon for the wording of every 2 spell slot levels. Every 2 slot levels. So, if you cast the spell at 9th level, not that you ever would, because the damage would be abysmal, but in theory you technically can. You would be... So hang on, let me just, I'm gonna get I'll XL for this. So be, so first, second, give me just a minute. I'm gonna do the maths here, because maths is important. Do your numbers and all that. So damage, length, width. Damage, 2, length, 30, width, 5. Give me a second. Length equals plus 10 equals floor Yeah, I'll just do this manually. 5, 10, 10, 15, 15, 20, 20, 25. So at 9th level, casting of this does 10d6 damage, which is nothing. There's like 5th level spells that do that much. It's 110 feet in length and 25 feet wide. I mean, realistically, casting this spell at like 5th level for a 15-foot wide, 70-foot long line of like a wind tunnel to like boost your allies as you run away is probably okay. Certainly, the damage-wise, like this is like a non-problem of a spell. Like this is completely reasonable, and its application is limited but interesting. So I think this is a success here. I like the spell a lot. Now going to take a look at your whisper. Just opening this. Okay, right. Just going to take a brief look at this. Right. Where is screen capture? Here we go. Right. Martial weapon. Yeah. AC 14, strength. Disadvantage on stealth. Okay. Binds the power of its bearer to restrain all. Okay. So I read Aura of Protection and was like, ugh, yikes, but given that the AC it grants is incredibly low, I take it that you don't, this means, you wearing this means you cannot wear armor, I assume. It becoming heavy after 5th level, I don't think does anything. I think it being heavy doesn't do anything at all. Okay, I'm just giving it a read at the moment. Heavy doesn't particularly do anything unless you're small, upon which you wouldn't be able to use this. So this isn't necessary here. The rest of this is reasonably okay. Okay. Or bright light as opposed to full light. So this here sort of works, but generally speaking, this is not particularly concise in the way that it works. So this would be something like whenever Luna makes a charisma ability check, can choose to gain advantage on that check. Once you have used this feature 3 times, you cannot do so again until you complete a long rest. But realistically, if you're the only person looking at this, that's not necessarily a thing. But consigning this to charisma ability checks is probably fairly important, because it defines a very specific boundary. The Aura of Protection has the same name as a paladin ability that already exists, so I'd recommend changing the name to avoid confusion from the GM and other players. To add your proficiency, given the AC it grants you is so low, the aura of protection thing, its ability is fine. Like, surprisingly, I remember reading it. I read it before I saw the AC and was like, yikes. But I think it's probably fine. But yeah, I would change the name so that you don't say aura of protection. Sure thing. Increasing again. Oh, to attack you can't even use a shield. Okay, yeah, that's fairly balanced. Can alter the emotional state of others she is touching using a awakened power of her cards. Let's make a wisdom saving. To an emotion of Luna's choice for 1 minute. I say the same sort of once you've done this 3 times, you can't do it again until you complete a long rest. That text would apply here too, but ultimately that's not too big of a deal. So yeah, this is like this is fairly balanced actually. Yeah, I would say this is pretty reasonable. And now for the oath. Unseen servant, mirror image, hold person. These need to be alphabetically sorted, but that's not really that big of a deal. Gaseous form, vampiric touch, hallucinatory terrain, shadow of moil. Shadow of moil, that's pretty good. But the rest of them, there's like a blend here of like pretty good spells and like spells, so I'd say the spell list is pretty reasonable. Generally speaking, paladins don't get 3rd level abilities. But I'd say this is it's not super busted. This would be it's also whenever you do it as well. Whenever you reduce a hostile creature to 0 hit points, you drain a piece of its soul. When you do, you restore hit points to your lay on hands pool equal to your proficiency bonus. That's a fairly reasonable ability. I'll just whisper that to you, the new text for that. Control Undead, I'm pretty sure that's just from Oathbreaker, so I'm gonna skim over that. Must make conscious savings against your. This should say your paladin spell save DC here. This damage is negligible. When you say total damage dealt, is it intended as the combined damage you deal to all creatures, or is it just what you rolled? Because if it's what you rolled, then this ability is very underpowered. If it's the combined damage, then it's probably fine. It needs a rewording if that is the case, but because it's very ambiguous. Yeah. I'll say I whispered the text for that for you. Okay. Right. Whispers tend to just compress everything into one sort of big block of text, but Aura of Souls, honestly, I would combine this ability with this ability, because again, paladins generally don't get third level abilities outside of their channel divinity, so they probably shouldn't get that here. And combining this with Aura of Souls, because Aura of Souls on its own is really actually no, it's relatively powerful. It's not particularly powerful, it's relatively powerful. Okay, this here is flavor text that doesn't represent the rules. Like, it kind of does, but you have to read into it a lot, so... Creatures cannot read your thoughts or communicate with you telepathically unless you allow them. Additionally, you gain resistance to psychic damage. This ability is actually, like, fairly weak. It is just kind of like a flavor ability, but so I would consider adding some, like, power-based functionality to it, but it's not a bad ability by any means, it's just not very powerful. Parasite, gaining a flying speed of 60 feet for 1 minute. Oh. Oh, well, it's gone, apparently. I don't even remember what it was. Hang on. Oh. Oh, it was like... Seventh, 2d4. 15th, 3d4, and there you go. Right, okay, this ability, again, is fairly reasonable, but it's just kind of a wording thing. Let me look at the other Pally abilities. Other Pally abilities, blah 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 blah. Because the text from those will give us the correct... let's look at Oath of the Ancients is probably the most sensible, because that also has difficult terrain. Luna can unleash her power as a deity for 1 minute, gaining the following benefits. Of 60 feet. 2d10 necrotic damage. Terrible hallucinations of creatures you can see within. I'll send this in 2 messages to make sure it doesn't cut off. But yeah, I say this is reasonably balanced. There's a little bit of sort of jank here and there, but for the most part, this is pretty well executed. I'd say it's easier for me to just like slap things in whisper messages because it lowers the sort of the time it takes overall. But yeah, I need to take a break now because I need to go grab food because I'm hungry. I haven't eaten in 6 hours ish. So I'm gonna go do that. I'll be back in probably about 10 minutes, and we will make a start on G. Though there's a good chance we probably won't finish it, which you know. So yeah, I'll be back shortly. Don't go anywhere unless you have somewhere to be, in which case do that. I don't need to tell you that because you're going to do that anyway. Because you know, most of you, well, you should all be adults. You can make your own fucking decisions, you know. But yeah, I'll be back in a minute. See ya. It is I return. I'm really far down, holy shit. Oh, that was actually really funny. Okay, right. I have eaten food. I have about 20 minutes before I need to go. So I'm going to try and burn my way through all of the G spells in that time. Which, looking at them, probably not going to be able to do. Because there's a lot of jank. Given that the first one is Gaia's Four Winds, which, if I remember correctly, is a weird and stupid spell. That's all good. Oh. No, what level is? Oh, is it a 5th level? Oh, it is. Right. Let's grab Gaia's Four Winds. Oh, shit, wrong one. There. So, 5th level Conjuration, 1 action, self-verbal cementing material, a small rubber square, and a 1/4-inch cube of iron. Concentration up to a minute. Druid, Ranger, Warlock, Wizard. You conjure a cylinder of howling wind at your location. At your feet, causing a huge updraft. The cylinder is 60 feet in diameter and 90 feet high. Choose any number of creatures you can see when you cast the spell. Those creatures can use a bonus action on their turn whilst within inside the winds to make a standing leap up to 20 feet to leap up to 20 feet to an unoccupied space they can see within the spell's area, making no checks and taking no falling damage would they otherwise suffer any. Additionally, when you cast a spell, you can choose one of the 4 different kinds of winds that the spell creates. Each wind has its own unique effect. Arctic winds. The area is difficult terrain and lightly obscured to all creatures you did not choose. Creature starts to turn to some cold damage. Any creature can leap within the winds. Oh. This isn't as janky as I remember it being, which is good. As an action on your turn, you can cause a creature you can see within the winds to be blinded until the start of your next turn. In addition, the whole area is lightly obscured. By a creature. Target a creature. In addition, flying creatures. A flying creature treats the area as difficult terrain. You did not choose. Additionally, free-flowing creatures you did not choose. Treat the area as difficult terrain. Okay, this spell's still pretty janky, but I think this wording works better. So it wasn't as bad as I thought. However, we now move on to Gaia's Maw, which is a 6th level spell, which I fairly certain I remember is also very janky. Sixth level Conjuration, 1 action, 30 feet, verbal somatic material, a vial of stomach acid mixed with dirt, concentration up to a minute, druid, sorcerer, warlock, wizard. Conjure forth the Maw of the Titan Gaia at a point you can see within range. The Maw is large size, as capital, and remains in place for the duration. As part of your action to cast the spell or as an action on subsequent turns, you can have the Maw change its direction if you choose, then inhale. When it inhales, each creature in a 60-foot cone in front of the Maw must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pulled 30 feet towards the Maw. A creature that is pulled into the Maw's space falls down into a 10-foot wide, 30-foot deep demi-planar pit at the back of the Maw's throat. That's unnecessary. A creature not pulled into its space instead falls prone. Must make a strength saving throw. On a failure, a creature is pulled 30 feet towards the Maw and falls prone. On a successful save, a creature is instead only pulled 15 feet and is not knocked prone. A creature starts to turn inside the Maw. Inside the Maw's demi-plane must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 68 acid damage, taking half on a success. The spell ends. If the spell ends with a creature inside the Maw, that creature reappears prone in the Maw's previously occupied space. Okay, yeah, the spell actually does work as intended, which is neat. Right, the next spell are the Galaran spells. Another set of named spells. There are 3 of these. There is Galaran's Giant Goat, which is the first one. And is about as stupid as it sounds. Galaran's Giant Goat. I don't remember really... Actually, no, I think I do remember how the spell works. I remember it being, like, really weird. Third level Conjuration, action, 20 feet, verbal somatic material, concentration for a minute. You conjure forth the spectral form of Galaran's trusty goat steed, Naralag. The goat appears in an unoccupied space within range, filling up a 10-foot cube. On your turn, you can use the bonus action to move the goat up to 40 feet and have it make an attack against a creature within 5 feet of it. The goat uses your spell attack bonus, your spell attack... for the goat, which deals 2d6 force damage on a hit. A creature hit by the goat must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed 10 feet back and knocked prone. This is surprisingly fine. Oh, this scales like crazy though. Holy shit. Oh no, it's concentration, so no, it's fine. Never mind. So yeah, the spell's kind of a meme, but, well, it's called Galaran's Giant Goat, so it is a meme, but it is kind of funny, so who fucking cares? Then we have Galaran's Glorious Gambit, which is an exceedingly powerful spell. That is a 5th level conjuration, 1 action, self, verbal, somatic material, and ivory caltrop. Concentration for up to 10 minutes for bards, sorcerers, and wizards. You conjure a field of arcane traps in a 20-foot radius around you, turning the area into difficult terrain. Any creature that enters the zone for the first time or starts its turn then must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 8d6 force damage. When you first place the traps using this spell, it should probably be a dexterity saving throw. You can teleport to an unoccupied space within 5 feet of the spell's radius. I realize the best way to word this spell is to reverse the order. You teleport away, leaving behind a field of arcane traps for your enemies to contend with. You teleport into an unoccupied space you choose. 25 feet of you. A 20-foot radius sphere of arcane traps centered on your original position. Creature that enters the traps area for the first time or starts its turn there. Which remain for the duration. Okay, yeah, I think that works quite well. The spell is very strong, but it's pretty cool. I feel as if this damage is probably far too high. I mean, it just is. It is far too high. I think must make a dexterity saving throw. Force damage on a I can shave off about 10 damage per pop, but it is an AoE dot spell, so you know, probably shouldn't do that much damage. And the last Galaran spell is yeah, I'm definitely not going to get to the end of the G spells. I'm like halfway through them, not even that. And also the one after the next one is Ghost Walk, which is a fucking nightmare spell. Galaran's Gratuitous Gesture is a 2nd level spell, I believe. God, it's fucking boiling in here, Jesus. Galaran's Gratuitous Gesture. Huh. Is it not a 2nd level spell? Maybe it's a 3rd. It is a 3rd. Now this spell is somewhat more of a meme than the other ones. It's not quite Galaran's Giant Goat, but it is still a pretty amusing. 3rd level Enchantment. 1 action, 30 feet, somatic material, the severed hand of a monkey. Concentration up to a minute for bards, sorcerers, and wizards. You project the image of a large translucent hand, colored how you choose, at a point you can see within range. That there is unnecessary. The hand makes a gesture that you choose from the list below. Each gesture will force any creature of your choice that starts its turn within 10 feet of the hand to make a wisdom saving throw or suffer a penalty based on the gesture made. Which lasts until the start of their next turn. A creature is immune to the charmed effect, no condition, has an intelligence score lower than 6, or does not understand a language, automatically succeeds on its saving throw. Demoralize. The target creatures have disadvantage on ability checks. Insult. Affected creatures have disadvantage on any attack roll. Have disadvantage on attack rolls do not target the hand. And obviously the hand is like an illusory image, so it doesn't actually do anything. Point. The hand points in a direction. The target creatures treat any movement that is not in the pointed direction as if it is difficult to rein. Affected. Affected creatures expend 2 feet of As an action on your turn, you can move the hand up to 20 feet and change its gesture if you wish. So yeah, I would say this spell is probably like we could buff its radius, I think, because its effects are fairly minor. Attack rolls for as long as it can see the hand. That makes much more sense. Its effect is fairly minor, and I think it should be as a bonus action. Because this spell's really cool. I really like this spell, because you just make a magic hand that flips people off, and that's really funny. So, yeah, I like this spell a lot. The next one, I believe, is Ghost Walk, which is, I think, maybe the jankiest spell of all of them, because Jesus, it is ridiculous. It's not powerful, it's not, it's not broken, or it is broken in the sense that I genuinely am unsure if it actually functions. It's Ghost Walk, I think, was the main reason I wanted to come back to this and, like, completely change a whole bunch of it, because it is a whole bunch of shenanigans. So 4th level illusion, 1 action, self, somatic material, a vial of ghostly essence. It should probably be a vial of ectoplasm. Concentration up to an hour. You channel illusory energy, turning invisible, whilst leaving an illusory afterimage of your body behind. You can use your action to move the afterimage or have it stay wherever you choose. You must have line of sight of the afterimage to do this. You must be able to see the after to move it in this way. The afterimage can be determined immediately as a falsity upon contact, or can be determined as false using an action and a successful intelligence investigation check. Okay, that's fine. Whilst the real you is invisible, you are under the you cannot speak or cast. You cannot speak. Your movement is reduced to 0, and touching any visible creature or object makes you visible for the remaining duration of the spell. To move whilst you're invisible, you can use your action to teleport to an unoccupied space within 5 feet of a creature that you can see within 30 feet of you, during which during which you can also tell it. You can see or you're off. You can see within 30 feet. Port again, or that creature. Or that creature teleports, or... See, this is the problem. So there's a big problem I've just realized. Ghost walk. You're invisible, but you're not hidden. People will just know that you're there. Because that's how invisibility works. Becoming hidden from all creatures who cannot see you. There. To move whilst invisible, you can use your action. Whilst you are invisible in this way, you can use your action to teleport to an occupied space within 5 feet of a creature you can see within 30 feet of you, during which you become anchored to that creature. This spell is so jank. Remaining within 5 feet of it removes until you teleport again. Until you teleport again, that creature teleports, or that creature enters into another plane of existence. God, this spell is so jank. You may also teleport your after image. As long as you can see it. God, this spell is weird. I would cut it, but I don't want to cut any spells from the archive. You know, that seems kind of whack. But yeah, I say we're probably going to stop here because I have somewhere I need to be now. I'm going to see if there's anyone to raid. We didn't get as much done as I wanted to today, but that's fine. I'm probably going to touch on this again later on this week, all going well. But I think some of this I may have to do off stream, because otherwise this is going to take weeks. But yeah. Hope folks have enjoyed themselves. Drop a follow or and take a look at my guild stuff if you like. But y'all can do what you want. I'm not your fucking dad, so you know you can make your own decisions. I'm not going to strong arm you into anything. I'm gonna see if there's anyone to raid though. So I will strong arm you into joining me in a raid, but there is no one to raid, so that doesn't matter. We're not gonna do it anyway. So never mind. I'm just gonna head off now then. I will definitely be streaming again this Sunday, but anything else is kind of a bit up in the air at the moment because I have a very busy week ahead of me. I am either playing or running in a game for tonight and for the next 3 days after that, and then again on Saturday. Playing is fine. That's just like an evening that I can't do something. But running takes a lot out of me. So we will see. I will definitely stream on Sunday because I always do. Everything else we'll have to see. But yeah, hope folks have enjoyed themselves. Like I said, drop a follow. Look at my... where's the guild? There it goes. My guild link. If you play D&D, there's probably something in there you might like the look of. And if you don't like the look of anything, well, that's fine, because, like I said, I ain't your fucking dad. I'm not going to tell you to do anything. But yeah, hope folks have enjoyed themselves. I'll hopefully see y'all on Sunday. See ya.